Okay, so in my previous lecture, I was able to create a virtual environment with the help of UV. Now we have to see that how we can create a neural network, how we can try to train a basic neural network, maybe for a classification problem, maybe for a regression problem. So obviously we can try to use a classification algorithm or regression algorithm from a machine learning, but even with the help of neural network, you will be able to solve the same thing, exact same thing. Yeah. So I'm going to show you that, but in this lecture, I'll be talking about a data set first of all. So let's try to load a small, simple inbuilt data set, which is going to be a iris data set. It's basically a flower data set. So where there is a column name called as sepal length, sepal width, petal width, and there is a target name or Y value name is called as setosa, virginica, and versicolor. And that data set you can download from internet, or maybe you can try to use an inbuilt library, and from an inbuilt library you can try to load that data set. So let me share my screen and let's start talking about this data set loading first of all. Only a data set loading in this particular lecture. So here what I will do, I'll try to import couple of libraries so that I can use these libraries even going forward. So first of all, import TensorFlow because I'm going to use a TensorFlow to create a neural network. Yeah. So as a TF, okay. Now from scikit-learn, sklearn, so which is going to help me out in terms of providing a data as well as in terms of splitting a data into a train and test, in terms of pre-processing a data with the help of one hot encoder and a standard scaler. Yeah. So I'm going to use a scikit-learn for that one. So here data set, and then from this one try to import iris. So load iris. Okay. Now from sklearn dot model selection. So just try to import train and test split. Then from sklearn dot pre-processing. So try to import one hot encoder and a standard scaler. Okay. And yeah, so keep this numpy as well. So numpy as np, and keep this date time as well, date time. So date time, and keep this OS package as well. So if it is required. So yeah, successfully I am able to import all of these libraries. So if you are not able to import some of the libraries, not an issue at all. If it is going to give you a library issue, not an issue at all. So just try to do uv pip install and that library name, and it will be able to install it. Okay, so all of this thing is done. Now let's try to load a data set. So I'm going to load a data set from a scikit-learn. You can try to load a data set even from a CSV file which is available over the internet. That's completely fine. So here I'm going to call load iris, and it is going to give me a data set, as you can see. So there are four columns, right? So throughout this one, and there is something called as sepal length, sepal width, petal length, petal width. Sepal length is not visible because of this like a length of this data, but yeah, sepal length is available. So sepal length, sepal width, petal length, and petal width. This is the column name, or this is the feature name you can say, or X values name you can say, whatever suits you. That's completely fine, up to you. Yeah. Now let's try to save this data inside a variable iris. Fine. Now, so here let's try to do some sort of a postmortem of the data. So iris dot data. So this is going to give you a data set. Okay, that's cool. Now I would like to see that what is the Y value name, or what is a target name. So again iris dot target target. So target is labeled as a 0, 1 and 2 basically. Now what is the meaning of 0, what is the meaning of 1, and what is the meaning of a 2? What is the technical name of this one? So you can try to check even that part. So iris dot I can try to call target and names. So wherever we have a 0, actually it's setosa. Its name is setosa. Flower category is setosa. Wherever we have 1, actually its name is versicolor. Wherever we have 2, actually its name is virginica. Fine. So these are just a label which has been given. Actual name is setosa, versicolor and virginica for 0, 1 and 2. Simple. Okay. Now, so what is the column name? Although column name was visible over here, right? Column name was visible when I have called this iris data. But let's suppose if I have to check, if I have to see that what are the column name which is available. So I can try to call feature names, and this is the column name: sepal length, sepal width, petal length, and a petal width. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's suppose I have to see this data as a data frame in a structured way. I have to see this data. Yeah, I have to see this data. So how I can do that? So maybe I can try to call pandas. I think I have already done the import. Okay, import is not done for pandas. Installation is done. So I can try to import, basically import pandas as PD. Okay, pandas as PD. Pandas dot data frame, and here I can try to pass my iris dot data column and then column name. So columns column name. So iris dot feature name is going to be the column name. So this is the actual data set that I have. This is the X value that I have. Yeah, this is the X value: sepal length, sepal width, petal length, petal width. Now let me save this data, iris underscore df data frame. Now this iris data frame, inside that I have to add even a target value. Yeah, target value 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So target is the new column I can try to create, and value of this one is iris dot target target. So now if I'm going to show you my data frame, right, you will be able to see even a y value, that this is been classified as 0, this is been classified as 0, this is been classified as 2, and in between, so we have 1 as well. So 0, 1 and 2. Now this data set is a perfect data set for me to solve a classification problem, because we have a 3 classes over here. A multi-class classification problem we can try to solve with the help of this data set. So we have a 3 classes, a class 0, class 1, and we have class 2. And one more thing you have to observe, that we have a sepal length, sepal width, petal length, petal width, and scatterness of this data, a range of sepal length, sepal width, petal length, and petal width is like not normalized. So maybe we can try to normalize this entire value, because that is going to help me out in terms of preventing, right? In terms of preventing the overfitting of the model. So whenever I'm going to create the model, this is what we do even in case of a machine learning. I believe we have discussed about that multiple times, so many times, right? Okay, so to do that, maybe we can try to call a standard scalar over here. So a standard scalar object, let's try to create it, and scalar scalar. Now scalar dot scalar dot fit transform I can try to call, and here, so I can try to pass, basically I can try to pass iris dot data. Yeah, I can try to pass iris dot data, and I can try to store it as x underscore scaled scaled scaled. Okay, fine. Now if I'm going to show you my x data, this is how my data set looks like. Sorry, x scaled. So here now you will be able to find out that the range of my data set has changed, because I have called a standard scalar. And what it does, so standardize a feature by removing the mean and scaling unit and variance. So here it is going to standardize the entire data set with the help of this one. So data minus average divided by a standard deviation, right? Divided by the standard deviation. So it is going to basically perform the standard scaling operation, and now my data set is in between a particular range, Okay, so this is done, right? This particular part is done. So now I'm able to create my x. Now what about my y? So do I need to do any kind of a treatment with respect to a y? Let's try to understand even that particular part. Okay, so let's try to do a treatment with the y. So how does my y looks like? So this is how my y looks like. So 0, 1 and 2, and as you can see that we have a one dimensional array over here. Now, so we can try to convert this entire data into a one hot encoding, so that I can try to pass the same thing, exact same thing inside my neural network. So, and what one hot encoding is going to do? Let's try to do it one by one. So here, first of all, one hot encoding requires a 2D array, not just 1D array, which is available to me. So to convert my data into a 2D array, I can try to call iris dot target. This is going to give me this above data dot reshape. I can try to call, and here, so I have to convert this data into 150 is to 1. Yeah, so 150 is to 1, or maybe I can try to give -1. It will be able to take a shape automatically. So now if I'm going to show you my data, so this is how my data set looks like. Yeah, this is how my data set looks like. Now it's been converted into a 2D array. I have not done anything, so just converted into a 2D array. So 150 cross 1. Simple, 150 rows and 1 columns. Now I can try to pass this data to perform the one hot encoding. So just try to call one hot encoder, and sparse output is equals to, let's keep it false, so that I will not be able to get a sparse matrices, means a 0 matrices. So here I can try to label it as a encoder. So this is the variable, and now I can try to call encoder dot fit transform. Yeah, and then I'm going to pass my data over here. So let's suppose if I'm going to pass my y, and then it is going to return me y underscore encoded encoded. Now y encoded, how does my y encoded looks like, by the way? So this is how my y encoded looks like. Now this is called as one hot encoding, and if you remember, which I have already discussed multiple times in my class as well, that what is one hot encoding. So one hot encoding is nothing but, let's suppose, let me explain you this part. So let's suppose we have data, we have x and we have y, right? So x is, let's suppose, 2, 4, 8, 10, and for that we have a class is equals to 1, 0, 2, 1, something like this. So how many total number of y do we have? Total number of distinct y that we have is 1, 0, 1 and 2. Okay, so 0, 1 and 2. Now, so if I have to convert this with the help of one hot encoding, so this with the help of one hot encoding, so what I will do, I'll try to write 0, 1, 0. So wherever we have this data, we'll write 1, and in the rest of the places I'm going to write 0. So if I have to convert this one into one hot encoding, so I'll write 1, 0, 0. If I have to convert this one into one hot encoding, then 0, 0, 1. Now if I have to convert this one into one hot encoding, so I can write 0, 1, 0. Means wherever we have this data, so I'm just trying to convert into one hot encoding. So now this is basically one hot encoding, where this one is representing class 1, this one is representing class 0, this one is representing class 2, this one is representing what? Class 1. Class 1. Yeah, so this is something called as one hot encoding, and this is a nature of the y, or this is the type of the y. We are going to use it for our neural network training. So yeah, successfully we are able to convert our data set into one hot encoding. So 0, 0, 0, so 1, 1, 1 you must be able to find out. Then if you'll come down, so wherever we had 2, so at second place, so 1, 1, 1 in rest of the places, so there is a 0, 0, 0, 0. So we are able to do a one hot encoding of the data set. Now once this part is done, data set is ready. So now we can try to call maybe our train and test split, and we can try to split our data set. So I can try to pass x is scaled over here, y encoded over here, and then I can try to say that test size is equals to 20%, and the training size is going to be eventually 80%, right? 80%. Okay, that's cool. So this is going to return me, x underscore train, x underscore test, y underscore train, y underscore test. So this is something it is going to return. Now I will be using this x train, x test, y train and y test for my model. Yeah. So data set is ready, guys. So far we are able to prepare our entire data set. Now once my data set is ready, what I will do, so I'll try to prepare a neural network so that I will be able to pass this data inside my neural network, and then I will be able to eventually train my neural network, save a final model, and then finally we are going to test it. So we'll try to see that in my next upcoming lecture. With that, thank you so much everyone. Take care and see you again in my next lecture.